We're not. I got to turn my mic. How's that? Is that better? Or is that worse? That's better right there? Can I go? Good morning, everybody. Welcome. What up to Middays with Marks on 97.5. The Fanatic, we are not losers anymore. I think Jalen Hurts said that after the game. We're not effing losers anymore. Great win. Even if it's just to get a win, it is a win. Good morning to everybody watching out there on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. Get involved in the live chat. We're building a community of chatters. And Ray Dunn is going to hang out with you guys one day. We're going to have a day where Ray Dunn goes out with all the chatters. Maybe I'll be there too. But anyway, so appreciate you watching on YouTube. Appreciate you listening on 97.5, or if you're listening on the app or wherever you're listening, good morning. Even if it's just to get a win, it's a great win, and we'll dissect everything about it. But you got the performance from the quarterback, and that's why you should feel as good as I do today, because Jalen Hurts was fantastic yesterday. And it wasn't just the end box score, 19 to 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was confident all game, made confident throws all game, and he was making off-schedule plays. This just wasn't, and this is something we'll talk about in a little bit too, but this wasn't one of these games where you're like, oh, yeah, great game plan. Oh, absolutely. They came out. This was a really sharp game plan. This was really sharp play calling. No, this was Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith being on the same page and looking like the three amigos. Saquon Barkley aside, because the running game continues to be a struggle. If you have Jalen Hurts and you have Devontae Smith and you have A.J. Brown that are on the same page, communicating well, both on and off the field, the Eagles are going to win a lot of games this season. We forget at how talented this team can be when you have two top-of-the-line wide receivers, because when they're able to run the ball and set up the tush-push and methodically go down the field, as we saw a lot last year, you don't need to have this high-powered offense. Yesterday, they made big plays. And Devontae, career-high 183 yards. A.J. with more than two big plays, but 2 touchdowns. The 3rd and 9, which I thought, if you want to give Kevin Patullo some credit, 3rd and 9 with under 2 minutes to go, and it's so there was. Let me see, I have it here. It's 28 to 22. 3rd and 9, ball at the Eagles 44. The Vikings sent extra pressure. A.J. Brown had single coverage, and he saw it, and Jalen saw it, and he threw it up to him. It was actually underthrown. The ball was underthrown, but they were on the same page. Great play, and that was the game right there. That was the game. And by the way, the Isaiah Rodgers revenge game, not so much. He got beat on that play. He got beat on a bunch of plays yesterday, and that's the brand of football that you want to see the Eagles do. You want to see them go out there where they can throw the ball all over the place, and they can do it efficiently, and you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith making big plays. That's how the Eagles need to try to start winning games right now. Running the ball with Saquon Barkley is not going to happen, at least in the short term, perhaps for the entire season. I know that I had predicted before the season started that he was going to go under in rushing yards. And I don't have it in front of me because, Ray, I still can't get this computer to work. Well, actually, it's up right now. But you know what the over-under for rushing yards was for Saquon this year?
1,500?
Yep. And even if he went under and he just missed it, that's still 500 yards less than he had last year, but it's still 1,500 yards. He's going nowhere near that this year. But so the Eagles need to make up for that in other places. So this idea that you're going to play good defense, you're going to run the football, you're going to control the clock, you can't lean on that this year. Cam Jurgens went out of the game yesterday with an injury, a knee injury, didn't return. He missed 3 quarters. So it might actually get worse, the offensive line play. But you know what you can do? You can throw the ball around, and that's what Jalen did yesterday. 19 to 23, 3 touchdowns, 326 yards. So this was a great win. But it doesn't mean that they still don't need to continue to improve with the play calling, with what they're doing on offense. Because what I saw yesterday was a lot of, all right, that play didn't necessarily work. Let me throw it. Hey, AJ, go ahead. Great communication. But this wasn't one of these great play calling, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni. Man, They looked really good. They looked good. The play calling was crisp. It made a lot of sense. Outside of the first drive, 12 plays, 75 yards. Man, it was good, too. Right down the field. They end up having a 4th and 4. Great play call on 4th and 4. Great job to go for it and not try to kick a 50-some-yard field goal. Boom, they go for it, and they get the A.J. Brown touchdown. Nice throw by Jalen Hurts. On the next 3 drives, they went 3 and out, and they had 8 total yards. And then they ended the half with a 4-play, 19-yard drive where they were trying to get in field goal range, and they had a sack, and then they kind of just gave up after that. So, great opening drive. If it wasn't for a Carson Wentz pick 6, they score 7 points in the first half. So, it's going to be masked today that the Eagles won the game, and I'm grateful for the win. Don't get me wrong. We still didn't have a good half. We still had a half where they scored 1 offensive touchdown, and they had a great drive to start the game, and then the next 3 drives, they had 8 total yards. So everything's not fixed. Hopefully we're getting there. You have the Giants. You have the bye week. Got to get to the bye week. Get guys a little bit healthier. Figure out on offense, all right, we're not able to lean on the running game. It doesn't look like it all. What are we going to do? Because guess what? Teams will adjust to what the Eagles are doing well. If you don't think the Giants are going to come out with a game plan based on what the Eagles did last week or yesterday against the Vikings, of course they are. They're going to say Saquon can't run the ball. Their offensive line is not good at and I can't even say Saquon's lost a step. He's getting hit in the backfield almost every time. That one play, it should have been a tackle for a loss. He spins out of it and he's able to get a short gain. So he's getting hit early. This is coaching. This is where coaching needs to say, okay, how do we get Saquon the ball? How do we get him in a little bit of space so he can hit those home runs? That is not the Eagles' offense this season. It's not. But Jalen Hurts, confident throws all game. And we can start here. And Ray, I want your opinion on this. I'm always happy when the Eagles get a win because guess what? They're 5-2, and their schedule to start the season has been the toughest. One of the toughest, if not the toughest in the NFL. So we also have to keep that in mind. But it's certain to me, it doesn't feel like the problems are fixed. And the problems are, I don't have confidence in Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni to run this Eagles offense. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's one game. I think you're not giving them enough credit, I think, for what they did in that second half. My biggest problem with them has been, after that first half, they have been beaten up almost every single game outside of, again, the Rams, where I felt similar to what I think you feel like today, where it was just like, oh, screw it, we're just going to throw the football. It hurts, you do your thing, and we'll figure it out. I feel like they have not been able to make adjustments into the second half. I understand Devontae Smith was the one that says they gave him the credit for advocating for that play. They still called that play for the 79-yard touchdown at the perfect time.
Yeah.
They also set that up earlier in the game by going under center, running the football, and then playing off the play action to allow that to set up. That's something I think even if the coaches stumbled into that one, that's coaching that still paid off for you because you set something up earlier in the game that paid off later in the game. That to me is an example of something that worked out for the coaching staff.
Apparently, Devontae was lobbying for the play action and the deep ball. So much so after the game that the offensive line was saying, yeah, Devontae was really lobbying.
My Lotta said it, like that was something that he wanted. And that's great. Hey, it worked out for them. It's something they set up earlier. And even if they have no idea what they're doing, if they are totally clueless and just ran the football early on and stumbled into setting that up perfectly later on in the game, guess what? Now you learned how to coach. Now you learned that this week you learned what you need to do as a coach. I don't think that they became Einstein in the second half. But I do think there's a credit to be had where one of my biggest concerns with this team was every time they showed up in the second half, I felt like they got outdone by the defensive coaching on the other side. Brian Flores, that matchup, I thought that was probably one of the biggest mismatches of brain power when it came to the Eagles' offensive brain trust versus the Vikings' defensive brain trust. And yet that second half, they did enough to get themselves the victory.
They did. So, that was the second best game by any quarterback against Brian Flores and the Vikings in 3 years. Second best game according to one of the metrics or whatever. So, and they had the second best passing defense coming into the game, too. So that was not exactly how you would have thought they would draw it up, which is let's take advantage of the Vikings passing defense.
Right. And they did it.
And they did, man. And they beat Rodgers on multiple occasions, too, yesterday.
And personally, what I'm just thrilled with today is the sickos out there, that in the back of their head were really rooting for Carson Wentz to go off against the Eagles and for Hurts to struggle again. I'm happy those people are a little annoyed today. I'm very happy those people are upset today. There's a certain caller I was thinking of as Hurts diced up that defense that I just can't wait. Can't wait to see what we hear from today, whether we hear from that caller.
Mad Mike?
I'm just saying, there was just a caller. I don't know who specifically.
I had emailers complaining about bringing Mad Mike on and his shtick and his nonsense. But anybody that was, and I'm one of them, that was kind of down on Jalen Hurts and how he's performed this season, and as far as what the problems with the Eagles' offense are, I mean, he absolutely showed up. And numbers aside, he was confident all day long, game long. I don't know why, but he was decisive. He saw the field very well. He made throws that he should have made, and we've seen him either A, not pull the trigger on them in previous weeks, or B, get too much air under them, or just miss them, flat out miss them. They had opportunities yesterday where the ball needed to be delivered, and Jalen did it. And that I saw a confident quarterback yesterday, and that's great. 610-632-0975. That's the phone number and the text line, 610-632-0975. Your reaction, and does this quiet the noise around the team and the quarterback and the offense and the play caller? First half, they still can't put two halves together. Thank God for Carson Wentz and some interceptions, and thank God for red zone field goals. What modern NFL team kicks 5 field goals in a game? I was shocked that they kept kicking these field goals. I mean, the 59-yarder was because there was the fumble and they lost 25 yards on that. But give the Eagles defense credit, but also thank God. Otherwise, you may have lost this game. But it's a good win. The Vikings are, even with Carson Wentz, the Vikings are still a good team. It was on the road. That's a home field advantage. And the Eagles went up there and they got a win. 610-632-0975. Your text, your phone calls. Jordan Mailata spoke about the swagger that Hurts plays with when he's confident after the game. We have that and your reaction. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Thanks for watching Middays with Marks. Like and subscribe right here. If you like and subscribe, you probably are loving what you're watching. There's more of it right here. Check it out.